news reads good, and also this enables them to have at least 1 billion revenue annually, which is a huge thing for a supposed 30 million market cap ticker. Well, it was 30 million yesterday, so it's a little bit different right now. But again, it's the anticipation, it's the hype, it's the volume that drives these stocks up. 423 million shares, that is very impressive. Well, HSCS, not much. Again, you see, not much really happening. It's just really bouncing off bottoms over here from 250s to 270s to $33 type shit. So there isn't anything really to like talk about, at least for the intraday runners, right? At least for the intraday runners. I'm not even sure if after hours provided anything special too. Doesn't seem like there's anything really going on as well. LFS is interesting. MNDR, again, we're back to all these Chinese names again, right? Where we're seeing the same pattern yesterday as well, right? Where all these Chinese names started running again. But yeah, I think for the most part, still seems like a pretty slow. Yeah, still seems like pretty slow all around, right? Isn't it? Am I missing out on something? Okay, hold on. Before I continue, Sarvan, you're new today, you don't understand the channels. Sarvan, can you see this? Sarvan, can you reply? Okay. All right, I want you to watch the VIP onboarding video first. All right, go to my channel. Okay, I'm just gonna post it right here. Okay. Watch this video over here. Oh shit, my bad. Hold on. Go over to my pinned messages over here, right? Click on this and watch this video. Now, before you do anything that's inside the server, whether you're following alerts and whatnot, watch this video first. And then you'll probably understand better. And then after that, you want to take your time to at least, get used to how trading works if you're new to trading, right? And then, well, this video over here helps you to better understand the channel, right? It doesn't help you to improve your trading execution. Okay, there is not going to be any sort of video that's going to help you improve that, right? It's just like, you play soccer, basketball. You're not going to improve execution just by watching a YouTube video about it, right? You need to practice yourself. But at least you want to understand how it works first. Watch this video to understand how the server works, so you can understand better, so you can execute better, so you can practice better. Okay, and if you have any questions right now, you can ask me right now, and I'll answer it at the end of this review. Right? So if you say you watched it, you have any questions, then I can answer it. But I want to see, because I'm gonna see if your questions are actually aligned together with whatever talk about. Okay, all right. So now let's take a look at the trades ticker for today. So there are a lot of back and forth on the trades ticker today, right? There is up and down. There is a lot of back and forth, right? Because the only reason why is because of one thing. You have a lot of these things, tickers over here, right? Running up, right? And running down. Okay, there is no main focus on one stock. The best analogy I can give you guys is, let's say, for example, this village has 10 people inside. Okay. This village has 10 people inside, right? And let's say during dinner time, there is restaurant A, for example. There's a restaurant A, and that's it. And during dinner, every single one of these people will go over here because this is the only restaurant, correct? But when you have restaurant B, restaurant C, restaurant D, now it's not as simple anymore, right? It's not just as simple as people going to A anymore, right? You can get some people going to A, some people going to B, some people going to C, some people going to D. So it's the same thing when it comes to this trading these small cap stocks, when there is a lot of options out there. Village right now equals to volume. Restaurants equals to stocks. And the thing is, none of these tickers are really good tickers fundamentally for you to buy and hold. Again, I've mentioned this many times before, right? It doesn't mean that they're bad. It's just that you have to have a different perspective when it comes down to it, correct? So when you look at this over here for ORIS at the start of the day, right, you could say that, oh my God, this thing was at 5.75, it goes to $1 right now. It sucks, but that's just how the small cap name works, right? It was good in the morning for you guys. 255 break, stop us on 240, right? And we hit 5.75. This was an amazing setup over here. Yeah. And then after that, there was also CIT over here as well that was very nice off the bottom setup too. Right, we went from 80s to $1 and then 75 to $1 again, right? Which is again, like I said, right? If it holds above this two area, watch for lowest consolidation or consolidation dips, who stops underneath the consolidation lows, which worked out nice. But it doesn't mean that it's going to run out the entire day. Why? Because let's say this is restaurant A. Suddenly at 7 a.m. onwards, when more companies come in, right, when they drop PR, restaurant B, restaurant C, restaurant D comes up, and people now have options. And when you have options, you're more inclined to look at different stuff. This is Think or Swim. All right, by Charles Schwab. But you're more inclined to look at different stuff. I think that makes sense, right? You may not understand it from the stock perspective, but if you try, if you understand my analogy over here, then you should understand why one stock goes up, one stock goes down, and it goes back and forth, right? So on and so forth. Okay, because that's how it works. Volume rotates around, right? Nobody's just gonna stick in one place at one time, right? You guys move around too, right? Same thing for volume, it's gonna move around as well. And again, like I said, none of these tickers are good for holding. So that's why they're really just, people are coming in, getting that move, and then they sell, and then they move on to something else, so on and so forth. Unless there is nothing else for the day, right? This is, this stock is literally the only ticker that's running right now. Then that's low. That's a whole lot of it. That's another different news over here already, right? Unless there is nothing else going on for the day, then this is the only news that you get. Then everyone's going to focus on this, right? Because you have no other options. But when you have a lot of options during pre-market, as they start revealing themselves after 7, there are more tickers. You can see at 4 a.m. we only have ORIS CIT. But as the day goes along, you get more tickers that start to show itself, like RDGT, for example. Right? You get more tickers that start showing itself. Right? Like RDGT. You can see this thing started running only at 448. Right? You get more tickets that show themselves, you have more options in the list, right? Things become more clouded. You won't get that much of a clear representation of which is going to be best right at the start of the day, right? More so when you get closer and closer to market open, then you get a more, I would say, consolidated list to know what to watch. You gotta let it play out, okay? All right. So now the first thing first for me is that pre-market was amazing. Right, we got CIT, we got ORIS, all banged out pretty well. Now going to open, okay, I didn't really trade the entirety of pre-market because I was away, I was out from the monitors, but I was still tracking the market. Right, I know tickers like ATLN was running, so on and so forth. I know ticker like HSCS was running as well, right? During pre-market, you can see there are more options right now. So I'm not really too concerned about stuff like this. Okay, I'm just knowing that, okay, these are running in pre-market because they have dropped their drop news, right? But what is the best structure to take right now? And I understand yesterday there was a big runner on NXTS, right? There was a big runner on NXTS, but also EHGO, a Chinese stock, was also running up like that. It was at the bottoms. It had pre-market moves, went down, and started running very, very nicely up. So my mindset is very simple. Okay, do I want to be taking something like ATLN when it's up a lot already? Unless, of course, it breaks out. Or should I be actually focusing on something that has bottoms, right? So that we can potentially reverse up, looking at EHGO action. And that's the reason why I take these two plays over here, RDGT and ORIS. Okay, so obviously they're not just like bottoms and out, so I take it. Number one, you can see that this thing was bouncing very nicely off the pre-market lows over here. All right, we started reclaiming all the EMAs as well. Okay, I took my entries at 280s over here. All right, and we got to move to 340s. Not bad. I wanted a VOP breakout here for more, but again, this is not the only Chinese ticker that's running. We also have RDGT, right? And if you guys know and understand by now, when one Chinese name goes up, the other one goes down. right? So let's say, for example, right now you have both oh, no, I have to take 1 second. You have both. Why can't I annotate this now? Hey, what's going on? Like, okay, let's say right now you have both stock A, Chinese stock A is Chinese stock B. They're both sitting at support. For example, this is support, right? They're both sitting at support. Okay. None of these tickers are driven by news, correct? They're just Chinese stocks. So what makes A any different from B? Why would A have a higher probability of success compared to B? Why? There isn't any. So the best way, the two ways for you guys to actually make this work is number one, you wait for something to break down so you can look for the other one. Or number two, just grab both of them. All right. And then see which one actually works. Because we're adding them off the bottoms. Right? We're adding them off the bottoms. There is actually no way to like kind of because it's not like running them when it's running, right? I'm adding them when they're actually still consolidating over here. Right? ORIS was over here at 280s with the 340. RDGT was over here at 205. Right? Went all the way to $3. So you can just add the bottom over there because they're both structurally the same. And it's not like one of them really stands apart from the other one, right? They both are not running on any news. They're both Chinese. Fundamentally, they're not very any different from each other. Right? It's just that they're both at the bottoms. Now, of course, because when one runs, the other one dies, that's why ORIS didn't really continue too much enough during market open. Because RDGT was the only one that's flowing. Right? Again, when the one Chinese name runs up, the other one dies. Makes sense, correct? And these two were really the only Chinese name that was worth watching. So that was how it is. But it's not like always it wasn't a good trade. Right? It was nice. Right? From 280s went to 340. Rate stops on the 280, 275, keep it green. And then now we have another one that's running. Right? So you see, if you waited for confirmation, right, you probably would have gotten your entries at 255, right? For ORIS. I mean, because you see, once you wait for confirmation, right? You're like, okay, you know what? For RDGT to go up, I need to see ORIS dies. And then ORIS started dying over here on at least the third minute at market open, right? Which means that for you, you're probably only going to get your entries over here at 258. And I would say that waiting for confirmation is great, but if you're adding something off the bottoms, right? If you're adding something off the bottoms, I don't think, I mean that's fine. You can just write it out because it's at the bottom. The higher probability of it going up from the bottom is higher than it continue to go lower. It's not saying it won't go lower, but there's a higher probability of it going higher again, just because it's at the bottoms. So to trade, ORIS 280s to 340. View up to the big level, right? Nice trade. Rate stops, keep it green. RDGT 205. Going up to $3. Beautiful trade over here. All right. And then now we move on to ATLN. So ATLN for me, 115 is a very big daily structural level. All right. But that's why I was waiting for the breakout. I honestly wanted dips over here, but it was looking very, very strong. So I really couldn't get the dips I want. But 115 was a very structurally strong level, as you can see. Right? Basically, this level over here is the thing that separates the price action, right, from anything trading up here versus anything trading up here. All right. So 115 is big. Now, of course, because this ticker has a lot of range already from 40 cents to 1 plus, I cannot have my stop loss on 115 just like this. Right? I gotta have my stop loss underneath a particular level that makes sense. Now, generally, I would say 90 cents is big. It's okay. Right? Because based on the daily structure level, 90 cents is the next price action separation level. Okay, but because that's a little bit too wide for me, right? And I understand that $1 is also a psychological level. So that's why I have my stop loss under $1 over here. Yeah. All right, and I told you guys, right? It's not going to be a straightforward trade, buy dips and sell pops. And you can see for the rest of the entire day, we never lost $1. We never lost $1. All right, as you can see from the chart over here, we never lost $1. Buy, we went from 115 to 130s. Buy dips, sell pop, right? Buy dips, sell pop, buy dips, sell pop. It just worked out. If we lost the $1 level over here, we cut. Otherwise, this is now sitting at a structure, right? Potentially to open up because it's just consolidating, right? Huge consolidation levels, all right. When there's huge consolidation range, usually it leads to an upside move or a downside move. Okay, there is no such thing as a consolidation equals to upside 100%. No. But the longer the consolidation, the bigger the move. Doesn't matter whether is it an upside move or an outside or a downside move. So you can see that for this particular ticker over here, we were consolidating the whole day over here, right? And interestingly enough, this thing was consolidating off the other names that was running like FCUV, so on and so forth. So that was actually very, very nice consolidation, right? It's holding on to levels very, very strongly over here, even though there are other tickers running. Right, other tickers like FCUV running, right? We talked about, we saw this, we traded this as well. It was a beautiful trade for us, right? But this didn't break down, right? Not once the ATLN broke down over here. So this means that the strength over here is very nice because at the end of the day, like I said, none of us over here would know whether a stock's going to go up or down. All we can do is respect the structure and levels. If we hold above $1, there's no reason to cut. Or if you cut, you can always reposition if you see nice consolidation off $1, which I gave you guys multiple re-entries over here for ATLN, isn't it? Right? I said this over here. 1.12 back in, right? Buy this to sell pop, stocks at 95 cents. This is when was this? 9:52. 9:52 a.m. Eastern, which is right here. Right? 1.12. And then after that, buy dips, sell pop. We never lost $1. So this is, nice, a big consolidation eventually leads to a big move if we break out. And we did, right? We did broke out from our double top on the 133 level, as you all can see. As I talk about to you guys on voice as well. Okay? All right, it was a beautiful trade over here for ATLN. Let's see. I'm not going to talk too much about GITS. It was a nice trade. HSCS. I wasn't going to talk too much about it, right? I think all these are pretty simple stuff over here. HSCS, you can see 945. Right, 945 at 3.1s here, right? I saw this pullback into this wick, right, off VWAP, very, very nice. Added 3.1s on the pop over here. Stops in the 290 because of my VWAP, and we got a pop to 375, which is amazing. A nice trade. And then after that, I re-added HSCS only for a particular reason. Because at 284, right, this is given at 10:17 a.m. Eastern. At 10:17 was right here. Right? 10:17 was right here. We went all the way down to 270s and popped back up to 297. Amazing trade. And now the reason why I got back in over here is very simple. Right? Remember what I said that stock market runs a pattern? So you guys can see that this ticker was bouncing off this red line, which is my 200 EMA. Something I really like to see. And it pumped up. And when we went down and we started respecting this 200 EMA again, I mean, based on the risk reward perspective, right, it was worth a shot for a potential bounce. And you can see that we did bounce. It's just that the volume over here just kind of dried out because it went to other names. So there wasn't much of a continuation. But it was still a nice trade, right? If you see right over here, if I were to take my entries at this near the 200 EMA over here, my risk was what, 3%, 4%? My reward, VWAP's always the first level, right? It's around 8%, right? It went up to 10% even. It's not bad. No, it's a risk reward. It's not a bad position to take. And who knows? Maybe this thing could just bottom and went up, right? But because you're protected near the bottom, you have a lot more flexibility to be taking these moves up to the upside instead of waiting for a big move to happen. And if it does happen, good for you. If not, you cut the rest of the structure breakdown. Okay? All right, FCUV. Very simple structure over here, right? None of these I was looking at daily chart, right? It was all mainly intraday levels. Okay, so now look, I don't even need to use the EMAs for this. Very simple stuff, right? This thing broke down trend over here. Was consolidating on this very, very big level at $5. $5 is a big psychological level, by the way. And you can see that the sticker just never had a chance to break above $5. There is a lot of resistance over here. So 2 ways to play this. As I've given to you guys multiple times. First one, 5 breaks stops on the 450. Let's talk about this first. Did we break 5 here? No, because it's all wicks. Notice the difference between these candles and this candle. This one closed above 5. This one went up above 5 and rejected $5. That's why you see all these wicks over here, followed by as compared to a full body candle over here. Yeah. All right. So the thing about how this Chinese thing works is honestly sometimes it can be very simple as adding a support, selling a resistance, or waiting for a resistance breakout. And clearly, based on this action over here, my support is this. 388. And when the stock formed a bounce over here, and such a bullish engulfing candle went up, right? When we pulled back to the same particular level, wick off again, I had to take my entries. It was a nice risk reward trade, right? 10:21 a.m. Eastern. 10:21 was particularly this candle over here, as you all can see at the bottom. 22:21. My time zone, right? It's 10:21 p.m., but it's 10:21 a.m. Eastern for you guys. I can see that I continue to Eastern time, right? It's 9:32 p.m. for you guys right now. All right, this is 10:21 a.m. Eastern. You can see it's a nice bounce. And all you have to do right now, because you're at the bottom of the trend, is take profits the way up, see if it breaks 5 more. That's it. All right, that is it. Okay, let me see if there's any sort of intraday levels of 5. I think I did watch the right, $5 over here. Look at that. Why is $5 a big level as well? You can look at this on the daily chart. First off, it's a psychological level, right? It aligns together with the intraday chart. But on the daily chart, you can see that there are a lot of rejections on this $5 area. And that makes it a big level, right? Because it's multiple confluence of a big level. Multiple rejections over here on $5 level, right? And a lot of rejections as well. You can see that. Okay, so that's why I took my entries. I was waiting for the breakout of $5 for a particular move. It's not a bad trade. It's nice. All right, I see most of these stuff over here is as simple as just looking at the chart and looking at the wicks, looking at the candlesticks, and that's it. There's really nothing complicated on this, right? And then after that, before I went during the midday review, right, when ATLN hit this level over here and halted down, I told you guys, right? If we hold above $1, continue to buy dips and sell pop. Did we hold above $1, guys? Yes, we did. And you got a 80% move after. I would say for the most part, everything was just super beautiful today. Right? No? I think Jake, you see Jake himself, right, was saying that he's on track to have his biggest week ever. It's only been Tuesday. That's amazing. Are you trade 4 a.m. with TOS? No. TOS doesn't allow 4 a.m. By the way, I'm still in CRMT. Right? This is a low volume sell-off, right? Spread sucks over here. We'll just have to see what happens tomorrow and whatnot. But again, if it doesn't work out, it's fine. Part of the game. What do you normally do until PM open at 4 a.m.? For 4 a.m.? No, for me it's 4 p.m. So I have errands to run. That's usually why I'm not really around, because I can't wait. I can't run my errands when shops are closed, you know what I mean? So 4 a.m. when my pre-market starts, it's 4 p.m. my time. So I'm out running errands, so on and so forth. Is that why it's better to dip buy into bottoms with volume distributed between multiple tickers? I wouldn't say it's better, because some of these tickers may have strong volume they can take breakouts. Like take ATLN, for example. Right? You're not adding this at the bottoms in the morning, but we still took the 150 breakout for a trade to 130s, right? It's just that it's safer that you're adding near the bottom of distributed tickers. Because can you imagine if you were to buy something that's already so high up? Right? At the bottom, you're more than likely to get that volume rotation if it starts distributing around. Right? It's safer. I wouldn't say it's better, but it's safer. how do you know if a stock is setting up for a dips to sell pops versus a straightforward setup? Usually when a stock goes, trends up like that, right, without any sort of long consolidation level, and you just keep breaking out, and it's a little bit heavy, right? I wouldn't expect a smooth move on breakouts. Probably if it stays above structure, you can probably buy this to sell pop, but I wouldn't expect smooth moves like that. Like see FCUV, for example, same thing over here. This didn't really do anything strong until you started consolidating and then broke the 5 and it was smooth. But at first over here, it was a little bit choppy, right? We never broke 5, it was just very choppy. Why don't you give levels in your plays? I have trouble knowing when to trim because you don't let us know what levels to trim or how to raise our stops. Also, you need to let us know how much to trim. I don't need to let you know how much I'm trimming. All right, that's really up to you. And again, I've already mentioned to you guys how I actually will trim. If you actually took the time, right, iPhone, if you actually took the time to watch the onboarding video diligently, okay, all right, you will know that I've actually talked about this before already on my trade management system. It's all written over here for you guys. And the reason why I don't give levels to trim is because I'm adding the trade real time, right? I'm not adding before and then I have time to let you guys know. It's not like I'm trading off the bombs, all right? This is momentum trades over here for me. Okay, so sometimes they may be quick that I don't have time to update the stuff. But over here, I also want you guys to actually learn how to identify these levels. I'm not telling you guys to use Fibonacci or anything like that. It's something as simple as just looking at resistance chart. And again, iPhone, if you've been a new member, fine. But if you're coming here long enough, I keep telling you guys this, right? No matter how strong something is, if price is below VWAP, the first level always has to be VWAP first. Then it can help you with selling down a lot already. Okay, but generally for the most part, if let's say, you see, let's take a FCUV, right? I alert my trims in real time, right? That's why I don't really give levels because sometimes I may not even trim at the level I give because if the breakout's very strong, I alert my trims in real time. But you gotta at least know how to identify yourself in the long run. Okay, you can follow the entries, but selling you need to have some sort of, I would say, knowledge to at least sell by yourself too. Because look, if I were to tell you guys that I'm in over here and it pops up here, I sell at 488 because this is a wick, right? It just wicks down. You won't miss yourselves. I know I know $5 is a big level. I know that if I look to my left, right, I can see that this ticker is rejecting this level a lot. So it makes common sense when we have anywhere near this 490 level, I will start trimming already, right? No. Because there's no guarantee we're going to break out from this. Yeah. So it's something as simple as that. Of course, if the setup is a little bit slower, right, I can give out the levels and whatnot. But if the setup's a little bit quicker, like FCUV, it's going to be a little bit tough for me. Because again, I alert my stuff real time. What time you start trading? Anytime from 4 in terms of Eastern, anytime from 4 a.m. to 3 p.m. Anytime. I don't trade just because of the time. I trade because there's an opportunity. All right. And when it comes to these small cap names, opportunities comes very randomly. Right. It's not like every single day at 4 a.m. something's gonna run hard. No. Right. So I'm awake, I'm scanning, right? It's just that I'm just waiting. What do you think about a rule I have only trading above view? I think that's fine. I don't again, I can't really say anything, right, when it comes to these rules over here. If these are just personal rules you guys set for yourself, good. It means that you're tied and locked down to trading these certain setups, and that's fine. There is no. Oh, you remember what I said before? There is no such thing, all right. There are no such thing as the. There are no such thing as one setup is the best setup overall, right? I never once said that I'm the best trader. I never once said that Frankie is good, right? Joyful is good. All of us has our own style that make it work. So if you have your own style that makes it work trading above VWAP, then do it. If it works most of the time, you find great success rate over there for yourself, do that. That's fine. Do you feel that there are times when dip buying into key support or bottoms is better than buying breakouts and vice versa? No, no, that's no. I don't ever think that. I just did that. Do you think NXTS waiting for support of dips is gonna help you catch this move over here yesterday? No, right? So again, it's the same thing as adapting to the markets. I'm always adapting to the markets every single day. I understand what the market wants, right? So I adjust accordingly because we are trading in the markets. The market's not going to listen to us. We have to listen to what it's telling us. So I'm adapting. I'm buying dips, so on and so forth. But if you look at a particular NXTS, if you wait for dips over here, you would have missed this entire move. And this is a big move. You have to adapt. You have to stay fluid. Okay, guys. I think that's pretty much it. I think it's a great day. All right, let's continue momentum tomorrow. I'll probably drop a 4 AM list if I see something nice. If not, or no, if not, we'll see. There's always gonna be new subs and stuff after 7. Okay. Alrighty, alrighty. All right, good night, guys. Have a good rest of the night.